Last Dance episodes 9 and 10 played, and we got great insight into the psyche of the team, what was going on during that era at the time of the Bulls breaking up. One of the key things that was floating around was, if after watching this documentary, if you don't feel like Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time, there's something wrong with you. And to me, when I think about Mike and his accomplishments and the way he looked at the game, I think he wants to be remembered not solely as, quote-unquote, the best player or greatest of all time. I think he wants to be remembered as one of the greatest teams of all time. Because from start to finish, not only did you get glimpses into Mike's psyche, how he felt about situations, you got pure insight into Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr, Dennis Rodman. Everybody made a contribution to the whole. Watching this documentary only brought me back to the mind of the book Sacred Hoops, written by Phil Jackson, where he depicted all of this stuff already in his book. So watching it, it's almost like watching his book on TV, essentially. It's like watching a book. It's like watching a movie that you read the book to already. If you look at everything that was said, everything that was done, the competition they faced, from Reggie Miller to John Stockton, Karl Malone, to how they felt about the series, to Dennis Rodman taking a sabbatical halfway through the NBA Finals. One thing that you want to really key in on, I think a lot of people are missing is, or what they're trying to say is, we are the greatest team of all time. Not only is, they're not trying to tell you like, okay, Mike is the greatest of all time. It's not necessarily all self-promotion. It's letting you know that we are the greatest of all time. We had the greatest impact of all time on the game of basketball. That's what they're trying to let people know. Not the 80s Celtics, not the 80s Lakers, not the bad boy Pistons. We are the greatest team of all time. And to me, I think Mike takes a lot of pride in that. He's always said that the debate ain't going to be who's the greatest of all time. It's going to be who's the greatest team.
People always debate it. Who's the greatest player of all time? Dumb question. It should be who's the greatest team of all time. You know, there are so many teams to choose from.
They faced off against Reggie Miller, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Charles Barkley. They faced off against MVPs, and they came out on top. And one of the key things that I liked about the documentary, which a lot of kids might not see today, back then, it wasn't necessarily about if you got the best player on your team. It was always like, who has the best team? You know, we got this, we got that. Like, when Jalen Rose was bringing down how they felt like they could beat the Bulls, he was like, we got Mark Jackson, led the team in the league in assists, got myself, we got Reggie Miller, Hall of Famer, we got the Davis. But that's how it always was. It was always a intro of everybody. Like, today it's more like one or two guys. You don't really think about the rest of the supporting cast. People don't look at the supporting cast as such an important part of the deal. And you saw that when Mike and Phil were going back and forth with ownership to come back. It was all about supporting cast, the team. Is Pippen coming back? Why are you blowing up the team? We got insight into why they blew up the team. Jerry Reinsdorf said that since they won the 6th championship, their asking price would be too high, so we knew we couldn't fulfill that, so we blew up the team. Mike thought it was BS, of course. But that's the whole point. I get it. Episodes 9 and 10. I love the championship pedigree. I love the competition that they showed. That is elite competition. But more importantly, I just love the team aspect. You got to see the teams, like what kind of teams were built back in the day. To why we say today's competition is a little watered down. And maybe player mobility has something to do with it, but the way they built those teams back in the days is like, from top to bottom, you had hitters. Utah had Malone, Stockton, Hornacek. They had Byron Russell. Like, they had guys that could really play. Same thing with the Bulls. So that's the message I got. We are the greatest team of all time. And, you know, you could pick your GOAT however you want to pick it. You know, I'm always going to say that Mike is the greatest player of all time, just for the way that he brought guys along and just how he ingratiated himself in the team. You know, one thing he made fun about Kobe, you know, rest in peace, Kobe. He said, Kobe ain't going to let the game come to him. He going to go get that mother. But me, I'm going to let that game come to me. And he let everything come to him. And you can see towards the tail end of his career, 97, 98, he enjoyed the game a lot more. He enjoyed what he could do with his mind, how he could achieve things. And it's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Was Mike going to retire before Reinsdorf said that? Or did Jerry Krause saying what he said push everybody to blow up the team? So we'll never really know. But I think that was a healthy balance of uncertainty for them to win the championship. If they knew that they were going to come back and everything like that, they would never have all these championships. And some of the things Mike would have done, I don't think he would have done them knowing that, hey, we're all coming back next year anyway. Like that sequence with Bob Costas talking about Game 6 after when he hits the shot. Bob Costas said it best. That was one of the most brilliant sequences in sports we've ever seen. For them to get a quick layup to Michael Jordan stripping Karl Malone down to Michael Jordan hitting the game-winning shot and holding his follow-through. That is one of the best sequences in sports we've ever seen. And nothing has really been able to compare to it. Not the Kyrie shot, not Kevin Durant's 2 3-pointers in Cleveland. Nothing has been able to compare to it. So you got to love it there, man. That was an epic documentary. I'm not even a big fan of documentaries, but that one I really had to watch it. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the documentary and what you took away from The Last Dance. Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.